My name's Emily at Moana Nursery. I'm here today at our Moana Lane location because a very special plant has arrived. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about our beautiful Dinnerplate Hibiscus, also called hardy hibiscus. So Dinnerplate hibiscus, one of the things that makes these plants so special is that they're actually hardy enough to overwinter here in the high desert. Hibiscus moscutus, or hardy hibiscus, translates directly from Latin as musk-scented mallow, as these have really large blooms that don't really have much of a scent, but they're in the marshmallow family, interestingly enough. As for how they've earned their name Dinnerplate hibiscus, they have stunning large flowers that often measure up to 8 to 10 inches wide, so very much dinner plate size. Flowers so big you could eat off of it. Also, the Dinnerplate hibiscus are one of the last things to come up in the spring. So one of the things that we talk about with these guys that's very important to remember is that if spring rolls around, think March, April, and you're not seeing your hibiscus come up yet, don't worry. It's completely natural to not see any growth at all from the ground until mid to late May. Also, you won't begin to see the flowers until later, which is great because it gives you some late summer, early fall color for your garden, which is really spectacular to have those nice big centerpiece blooms so late in the season, because not a lot of flowers have such a striking bloom that lasts for that period of time. So a really good addition to your garden. So this season we have lots of charming varieties of hardy hibiscus that you can add to your garden to have that really nice pop of color. One of the varieties that we're carrying is called Airbrush Effect. Airbrush Effect has this beautiful watercolor-like pattern where it fades pink and deep inwards has these deep red, what's known as eyes, or like little spots in the center of the flower. So it has this gorgeous, almost hand-painted effect that you'll really get to see with these stunning blooms. Next, we have Blackberry Merlot. This is a wonderful hardy hibiscus that has really dark foliage, which makes it a great pop against other light colors in your garden. They have a deep kind of magenta, red, burgundy flower that's also stately large, and again looks great with other lighter colors like fountain grasses, or you could do them against whites and creams in your garden for a really striking pop of color. So the next variety we have is Dark Mystery. This is a really nice flower that has really deep color on the inside towards those eyelets. And again, like the Blackberry Merlot, they have dark colored foliage that makes them a really nice pop against other colors. I would pair these with oranges or other red colors as well to kind of draw out the really nice rich tones of the flower itself. One of my favorite varieties that we have in this season is from the Head Over Heels collection, and it's a hardy hibiscus called Passion. This has got these gorgeous, stunning pink blooms, but the bush itself is a more compact variety of hibiscus, making it great for borders or even container gardening. So this is a very versatile plant that even if you don't have a lot of space in your garden, it will do wonderfully and provide you with the same large blooms that people seek with those Dinnerplate hibiscus. And lastly, we have a variety called Summer in Paradise that has these beautiful cherry red blooms. So if you're looking for a very classic hibiscus look, these flowers are going to be absolutely gorgeous. They have bright green leaves as well, so you get a nice high contrast between the leaf and the flower, which makes them an excellent accent for any pairings in your garden. So as I said earlier, these plants are hardy for the high desert. Typically they're zoned from zone 4 through 9, so they will do excellent in our high desert gardens here. Additionally, they require full sun to bloom well, so make sure you're planting them in a spot that's going to get very sunny, that will have plenty of afternoon sun to help those big blooms bloom fully. That's the thing about having big flowers, is you require a lot of energy to produce those flowers. So another thing about hardy hibiscus, making sure that they're really going to thrive in your garden, you want to make sure that you're giving them ample amounts of water. These beautiful flowers, being so large, have strikingly thin petals, so they need a lot of water in order to stay blooming for such a long period of time. So you want to make sure that you have a good drip system set up that's working to make sure that you're irrigating your garden well. Additionally, it's important to feed these guys. Now they like a nice well-balanced fertilizer, but anything with a little bit higher phosphorus will encourage them to bloom for longer. Again, takes a lot of energy to produce such huge flowers, so make sure you're feeding your hibiscus in the growing season as well. It's also good to give them a dose after they have finished blooming for the season so that they can store up enough energy through the fall so that they burst back in May with vigor and hardiness. Also, once it's done blooming, you can remove the spent blooms as they come off, once they've wilted, so that you can save the really nice blooms on your plant. But in the fall time, you want to cut your plant all the way back almost to just above the ground, so that way it can conserve its energy towards the roots. And again, it's going to go dormant through the winter time. So you're going to want to make sure that it gets some water so it's not fully drying out. But that way it's able to come back in the late spring, early summer and have a really nice canopy to start with. So one of the questions we get asked about a lot here is about other kinds of hibiscus. How do the dinnerplate hibiscus compare? Well, let's talk about some of those other varieties so that we can really get a good picture of which one's going to be the best for your garden. So first off, we have the tropical hibiscus, which grows in equatorial areas that are much milder in wintertime. Therefore, in our climate here, we grow them as annuals. They provide a great pop of color in the early spring to early summer, but the dinnerplate hibiscus, you won't see those for much later, more midsummer to late fall for blooming. So for these guys, the tropical hibiscus is not going to overwinter again. So very important that if you want a nice something for containers just for a pop of color for the season, the tropical hibiscus is a great option. But if you want those to last, you have to bring the pots inside in the wintertime and treat them like a houseplant. The dinnerplate hibiscus, you don't have to worry about that. You can just leave them in the ground, cut them back in the fall, forget about them till they come back up in the springtime. The other type of hibiscus that we carry here is called the Rose of Sharon. I'm sure many of you are familiar with these bushes as they're used a lot in wonderful landscapes here in Reno. But the Rose of Sharon is a very tall shrub. You will notice if you put a dinnerplate hibiscus and a Rose of Sharon right next to each other, your Rose of Sharon is going to get 9 to 12 feet tall depending on the variety. Also importantly, the Rose of Sharon has much smaller flowers, and while it does have a good long summer blooming time, if you want that big striking flower, I definitely suggest going with the dinnerplate hibiscus because they're going to get far larger, while the Rose of Sharon flowers only get a couple of inches. So they're very beautiful for using as hedges or large backdrops for shrubs in your garden, as they also like full sun. But if you want a good statement plant, something for a cottage garden or a nice border, then you're definitely going to want to go with the dinnerplate hibiscus. Whatever the style of garden that you desire, we have a hibiscus here for you. Feel free to stop by any of our 3 locations, and any of our sales teammates are happy to help you pick out the best hibiscus for your landscape. See you guys later.